Community was a comedy series based around a community college study group. It was created by Dan Harmon and had a large cast which consisted of Joel McHale, Jillian Jacobs, Alison Brie, Donald Glover, Danny Pudi, Chevy Chase, Jim Rash, and Ken Jeong. I personally started watching the show when it was put on Netflix at the beginning of quarantine. I fell in love immediately and binged through the entire show over the course of a month. So as a fan, I wanted to do my own ranking of the seasons. Also, hashtag 6 seasons in the movie. I just wanted to get that out of the way before I started. Let's go. The gas leak season. I understand that there is no surprise that this is at the bottom of my list. Honestly, I think everything bad about this season has been said already by thousands of other YouTubers and fans over the course of several years since that season aired. I'd rather talk about the things that the season did right rather than the things they did wrong. I think season 4 has the strongest premiere episode out of any of the other seasons of Community. Community doesn't have a history of having really strong openings. They have a lot of great episodes in the middle of the season. They have some really cool and interesting season finales, but the premiere episodes have not always been their strong suit. But I think the new showrunner is trying to compensate for the fact that they're replacing Dan Harmon, really wanted to make a good impression with their premiere episode. And I think they actually did a good job. Unfortunately, I don't think that they actually maintained that same momentum throughout the rest of the season. Now, I know I might lose some people here. Yes, the first few episodes of Season 5 were good, despite Pierce's absence. But with Troy leaving so soon into the season, I feel like the show struggled to find a good balance within the cast. The show's comedy stems from the characters' interactions with one another. Without certain characters being there, the comedy naturally would change. Hickey wasn't a character who added much to the group. He didn't really fill the void that Troy and Pierce left, but he also didn't bring anything new either. The first episode we see of Hickey with him helping Jeff adjust to being a teacher was great. I really liked him. Him and Jeff had some real good chemistry. I feel like that was the best use for him as a side character. Once he moved into a role as a main character, they struggled to find interesting things to do with him. Even the return of John Oliver's character, it still didn't really successfully fill the void that was left. Also, the subway finale was very underwhelming. Season 5 left a lot to be desired. Normally, first seasons of a long-running show are merely a skeleton of what the show will become. Dan Harmon was doing his first network television show. He talked about how he tried to conform to 2009 TV standards. He was kind of in competition with The Office and other sitcoms at the time. As a result, this season starts off kind of feeling like a lot of other shows. He tried to have a Jim and Pam style relationship with Jeff and Britta. Troy seemed to be more of a stereotypic dumb jock character than the kind of kind-hearted, lovable goofball that he becomes in later seasons. But Dan Harmon's sense of humor was enough to help get through those more rough parts of the season. And as the season went on, it became more meta and self-aware. That meta and self-awareness soon became a part of what people liked about Community. Also, this season has very memorable episodes like Contemporary American Poultry and Modern Warfare. Now, you want to talk about memorable episodes. I think Season 3 has the most outlandish but also creative ones. Documentary filmmaking redux, regional holiday music, pillows and blankets, digital estate planning, and of course, that one. But the reason why it's not higher on this list is because this was the point where Community started to become a parody of itself. The nuance of the characters started to fade and they became more like cartoons. The plot with Chang was fun, but it was very nonsensical. It felt like the writers were struggling to find something for him to do. The only things I latched onto was the recurring plot with Troy possibly becoming a repairman and Shirley sandwiches. Honestly, it felt as if this is where the show was originally going to end. After a somewhat rocky start with Season 1, the show itself was a lot more confident the second time around. wasn't afraid to explore more obscure ideas and strayed more from the stereotypic sitcom format previous season had taken on. It took all the good elements from the first season and did it bigger and better. Some of my favorite episodes are in this season: cooperative calligraphy, conspiracy theories and interior design, Abed's uncontrollable Christmas, intermediate documentary filmmaking, and paradigms of human memory. Also, let's not forget that the increasing tension between Pierce and the rest of the group led to some great comedy and a very unexpected ending to a very high-stakes season finale. If it wasn't for this next season leaving such an impression on me, this would have been number one. Yes, I have a deep-seated love for the last season of the show. It was more personal than the show has ever been. It wasn't bogged down by the conventions of network requirements and influence. They found a way to balance out the group properly after losing Troy and Pierce. Elroy and Frankie are two of my favorite characters on this show. Keith David and Pageant Brewster are freaking hilarious. And I feel it successfully capped off this 6-year journey of the Greendale students. The shorter season led to each episode serving a bigger purpose. The shorter season led to a more focused story. Each episode served a purpose in moving the characters forward in the season's story. The end of the season wasn't some elaborate scheme by Chang or City College. It was just everyone moving on to better things. Did it end exactly as fans might have envisioned? No. But people wanted Jeff and Annie to get together and Troy to come back for one last hurrah, but fortunately, we got a more honest ending that showed these characters' growth. Not everything in the season lands comedy-wise, but despite the circumstances, it still persevered.